Hello everyone. This is my first task as an intern at the Sparks Foundation. The problem statement of my task is to predict the percentage of a student based on the number of study hours. So, firstly, we are importing the necessary libraries which are needed for the analysis of the data and to build the algorithm for this, build the model. And so, we are starting with reading dataset. We are reading dataset directly from the GitHub, and as we can see in our dataset, there are almost 25 rows and the two columns. Two columns are scores and hours. So we can say that this is a linear relationship because we have only the two features in our dataset. So here we'll explore the data now, and by using the describe function, and here we can see the mean values of both the hours and score standard deviation, minimum value 25th quartile, 50th and 75th quartile, and the maximum value. Now we'll check the null values in our data set. So if we have any null values present in a data set, we can remove them. But yes, by luck, we don't have any null values in our data set, so we don't need to clean data set from the perspective of the null values. So from the perspective of a visual representation, we are going to plot the distribution of the scores. Here on the x-axis, we have taken the number of hours the student is going to study and the percentage which he is going to score. So here we can see that there is a very strong relationship in between these two features, hours studied and the percentage scores. It means we can say if a student is studying more number of hours, there is a high chances of scoring good grades or good percentage. So our next task is to define the dependent and independent data frames. Like we are defining the data frame which is having only dependent variables and another one which is having only independent variables. So our next step is training and testing split. Here we are dividing our data set into training and testing. The training data set is of a size of almost 70% and the testing data set is of 30%. Like we can say in the training data set 70% of data falls into that category. Now we are going to train the algorithm. We are choosing linear regression algorithm here. As we have seen from the above, we have only the two features in our data set. So we are going to plot a regression line, and here we can see the strong linear relationship. So now we are going to make the predictions. X test is the independent features in the test data set, and we have taken PRED as a variable for the prediction. So here we can see the PRED values and the Y test. Now we are going to compare actual versus predicted. By this data frame we can see the actual values in the data set and the values which we have predicted from our model, and obviously there is some difference in between these two which we can see through the mean error also. So now the time comes where we are going to insert our own values into the dataset and we want the answer from the model. So now if we consider the student is studying 9.25 hours and we want to know how much percentage the student is going to score, we will apply this model on this problem and we are getting 92.808 predicted score. So now our next step is the evaluating the model, which is very important to see how much accuracy is there in our model. And here we can see there is a mean absolute error of 4.7625. Okay, thank you.